Capital News tonight. Research has revealed that between 4 to 8 out of 100 Tanzanians are found to have been infected with hepatitis. Agora gives $40 million to Building Better Tomorrow BBT program to empower Tanzanians youth in the agriculture sector. And in sports, the national professional boxing team is ready for their booth in Senegal. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. The Director of Medical Care from the Ministry of Health, Professor Pascal Lusajo, has said that liver problems in Africa have been increasing rapidly, where in Tanzania, 4 to 8 people out of 100 are found to have been infected with hepatitis.
Liver diseases are on the rise, prevalence-wise, but also incident-wise, especially among at-risk population, including IVI, these are intravenous drug injectors, but also other risk factor groups. But it's equally important to realize that due to the nature of the viral hepatitis, the rate of infection and transmission is manifold times highly infectious and can also be compared to, if I remember microbiology well, compared to HIV, it is up to 10^3 times more infectious.
In diagnosing and treating liver diseases using modern technology. In the pre-workshop, I saw the conference will focus on using endoscopy in Africa, both in the past, present, and the potential future. It will also discuss guidelines for managing hepatitis, in particular hepatitis B and C, the liver failure, cancer, the biliary system, liver cirrhosis in general. As I was introduced, I'm the CEO of Muhimbili National Hospital. And for those who are visiting, Muhimbili National Hospital is the largest hospital in the zone here.
Committed to eliminate viral hepatitis, which is a major problem in Africa. 82 million people in Africa have hepatitis B. We have almost 11 million with hepatitis C, and only 2% are getting attention treatment. And also there is still gaps in prevention of the mother-to-child transmission of hepatitis B. That needs implementation and strong awareness on the importance of screening and testing pregnant women and on giving the birth dose of vaccination for hepatitis B to prevent this kind of transmission to the babies. So there are lots of opportunities coming in from the Global Advisory Immunization Committee or Vaccination Committee, supporting countries now for the birth dose. There are opportunities with WHO support. We have collaborators and stakeholders from the World Health Organization.
Now, the government of Norway has given Tanzania 7.3 billion shillings to support the fight against effects of climate change, where the funds will go directly to address challenges affecting people caused by climate change.
Lakini hili kubwa zaidi ni kwamba hata shughuli za mwanzo ambazo ndio tumeshirikiana kwa pamoja na sisi tumepata mafanikio makubwa sana. Na mojawapo ni kwamba kuwa na sera zetu za mazingira, na hata ukikumbuka sera ya mwaka 2021 ya mazingira, lakini kuwa na mikakati mbalimbali ya utunzaji wa mazingira, na hasa tukikubaliana katika swala zima ule mpango mkakati mpana wa mwaka 2022 au mwaka 2032. Na commitment yetu ya Tanzania ama makusudi yetu ya Tanzania katika kuhakikisha tunapambana na swala zima mabadiliko ya tabia nchi, na hasa upande wa NDC zetu ambao target yetu ni kupunguza emission kati ya 30% mpaka 35 utapofika mwaka 2030.
I have a background before I became Minister of International Development. I worked on climate action in my region as a regional minister. And I think we both agree that we can we can present documents, we can speak at conferences, but we want action and we want change.
Hizi hela ambazo tuna estimate kama 7.3 billion Tanzanian shillings zitakuwa zinaendeleza ile kazi ya climate change adaptation, na kazi hizi zinawalenga zaidi wananchi na communities ambazo zinakuwa affected na mabadiliko mabadiliko ya nchi.
Now, following the growing fuel scarcity situation in the country, Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has directed his deputy, who is also the Minister of Energy, Dr. Doto Biteko, to ensure that the problem is resolved within 1 week. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa gave the directive during the question and answer session in Parliament, Dodoma.
Nishati yenyewe ipatikane nchini. Swala bei tunajua bei zinabadilika wakati wote, lakini kwanza nishati ipatikane kwenye vituo vyote na maeneo yote nchini ili Watanzania wapate hii huduma. Na upatikanaji huu ni muhimu kuhusisha pia taasisi zote za mafuta, EURA na taasisi nyingine zote, wale wanunuaji wa mafuta kwa bulk, lakini pia taasisi ya ununuaji wa mafuta. Tutaweza kikao kikubwa na wizara kadhaa zinazohusika, Wizara ya Fedha, Ofisi ya Uratibu, Ofisi ya Waziri Mkuu, kae pamoja muone namna ya kupatikanaji wa mafuta.
President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan has said Africa has the capacity to produce sufficient food for its people, as well as to sell out of the continent, as it is blessed with abundant agricultural resources. But what is needed is increased investment in agriculture and livestock sectors. President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan made the statement in Dar es Salaam at the Africa Food Systems Forum that was also attended by various African heads of state and governments.
And sponsors, representatives of various institutions, public and from private sector, both international and local, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. At the outset, I would like to take this opportunity to express my profound gratitude to the Alliance for Green Revolution in Africa, AGRA, under the able leadership of His Excellency Haile Mariam Desalegn, Chair of the AGRA Board and member of our National Organization Committee. Sincere thanks to Dr. Agnes Kalibata, the AGRA President, for this well-organized African Food Systems Forum for this year 2023, here in Dar es Salaam, the United Republic of Tanzania.
So this forum is in proper context because it speaks to a very important subject, not just globally, not just regionally, even in Kenya, it's a very important subject. And it is an important subject because it is not something we can do, we can live without. You know, we can live without many things. We can live without technology. You can pay to have airtime and many other things. But food is something very emotive. And therefore it is important as leaders working with all the other stakeholders to think, to plan, and to do everything possible to make sure we get it right.
Now, hundreds of people who have invaded and constructed illegal settlements in Silayo Plantation Forest in Chato District, Geita region, have been directed to move immediately, with an operation to remove livestock in forest reserves also underway.
Ongezeko kubwa la makazi kinyume cha sheria ya misitu namba 14 ya mwaka 2002 ndani ya hifadhi. Kwa mfano Japanda, nasema inaitwa Rukanya, miti mirefu, Beria, ya mchere, Ponyazege na Nyati, ambapo wananchi wamekuwa wakijiwekea makazi holela. Lakini usafirishaji wa mkaa kwa njia ya pikipiki na baiskeli kutoka ndani ya msitu wa hifadhi ya Biharamulo Kahama, upande wa wilaya ya Biharamulo kupitia eneo la hifadhi upande wa shamba wilaya ya Chato, usafirishaji wa kijihami wa silaha za jadi. Pia hiyo ni changamoto. Ongezeko kubwa la mifugo inayochangia uharibifu wa mazingira, hususan wafugaji kuchungia kwenye maeneo yaliyopandwa miti.
Misingi hii nitoe wito kwa wananchi wanaokaa na kujenga katika ndani ya msitu wa shamba la miti Silayo watoke mara moja, kwa sababu shamba hili liko kwa mujibu wa sheria na lipo kwa ajili ya uendelezwaji. Na mtu yeyote atakayebainika anahujumu jitihada za uendelezwaji wa shamba hili, sisi kama serikali tutashughulika naye. Hatutaweza kumvumilia, lazima tushughulike naye.
Residents of Igombe village in Kabila Ward, Magu district, Mwanza region have urged the government to oversee contractors implementing projects in the area in order to avoid challenges that have been caused by lack of reliable power.
Mimi nashukuru sana serikali yetu kwa kutuwezesha kutuletea umeme. Tulikuwa na hali mbaya. Kwa sasa hivi tuna hali nzuri. Lakini changamoto ya umeme unakata mara kwa mara. Lakini tulipofika umeme tulishukuru sana.
Tunashukuru serikali kwa kuletea umeme. Maana huku nyuma tulikuwa tunahangaika sana. Tulikuwa tunatumia sola. Jua lisipotoka hatupati umeme. Lakini tunashukuru serikali. Kwa kweli ni mfanyabiashara wa nyama. Hata kuweka biashara zangu kwenye friji kwa kweli inanisaidia.
Hakuna kijiji kitakachobakia bila umeme ikifika Disemba mwaka huu mwishoni. Lakini vile vile yale maeneo ambayo yana utata tunaendelea kuyafanyia utatuzi. Kuna maeneo ambayo wananchi wakaya maskini kabisa na wale ambao labda ni wanaishi katika mazingira magumu, hasa wale wa TASAF. Tumeahidi kuwa tutawapatia umeta.
Lawyers, legal officers and personnel involved in the judiciary have been urged to abide by the constitution of the country in controversial cases, including violence against children, instead of relying on technical mistakes that arise in legal proceedings. This was said in Dar es Salaam by the Deputy Registrar and Director of Case Management of the Judiciary in Tanzania, Adesteri Kamugisha, in an interview with Capital TV.
It happens quite often that the suspect is declared innocent on a final verdict, despite the fact that the public believe that there was overwhelming evidence which could suffice for a conviction. It's a matter of fact that the final verdict of the court depends on two issues, or two important issues. One is the evidence, and the other one is the law. So when a court is making an evaluation at the end of the case whether to convict or acquit, it has to direct itself whether the evidence is sufficient.
Honorable Kamugisha also explains on how the Constitution is used to guide the court to dispense justice.
But as I've said that, as the court of law, the Constitution of the United Republic of Tanzania, in particular Article 1007, requires us to dispense justice without due regard to technicalities. Equally, when it comes to for example, civil proceedings, we have the specific law, you remember about Ministerial Amendment Article number 3 of 2018, which introduces the double O principle, sometimes it's called oxygen principle, or overriding objective for that matter. That when the court is dispensing justice, it's not be bound up with regard to the legal technicalities. And of course, there's always been a thin line between what is the procedural requirements and what is the technicalities.
And that is the end of national news. Business news follows up next. Welcome back, and in business news tonight. The chairman of the board of the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, AGRA, and former Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Haile Mariam Desalegn, while speaking at the Africa Food System Forum in Dar es Salaam, has commended Tanzania for implementing the Building Better Tomorrow program for youth, where he announced to support its implementation with funds amounting to $40 million.
I am confident that this program will be successful simply because there is high leadership commitment, and not only commitment but action. They have already started to do so, and I have seen it myself. And I'm looking forward to see this program to be an exemplary program for the entire continent, for our young people in Africa. Having said this, I think we have to realize what's going on in our continent.
They will not translate the environmental plans towards wealth creation, then that will be a huge problem. So we decided to come up with a socio-economic environmental approach toward the BBT. As I said earlier, the BBT program is 100% food system approach, whereby we look the productive, that is the yield technology, to manage the wastes, trade, nutrition, inclusiveness, resilience, and sustainability. This is how we will look at the food system, how we are going to look the program of the BBT.
Meanwhile, Tanzania Investment Center TIC has said that various investors who participated in the Africa Food System Forum in Dar es Salaam have shown interest in investing in commercial farming after seeing the abundant opportunities in the agriculture sector in the country.
With the TIC, we have a certificate of incentives for the investment process in Kiala. TIC have been assisting us with the input of machinery as well. There's different incentives around allowing the investment, especially for a foreign investor, to come into Tanzania, and also working on how now we've passed the TBS, so that's the local standards, to be able to now export the chocolate and the cocoa products outside to different countries.
Tupo hapa ili kutangaza fursa za uwekezaji ambazo zipo Tanzania, lakini pia kuwapa taarifa, kwa sababu tunafahamu kwamba washiriki wa hili jukwaa ni wengi, na wengi wametoka nchi mbalimbali Afrika na duniani kwa ujumla, lakini pia tuna Watanzania ambao wameshiriki pia.
The Cereals and Other Produce Board, CPB, has said that it is committed to ensure women and youth in the country participate fully and benefit from the agricultural sector, particularly in the value chain process of various farming activities.
What are we envisage to be our vision and prospects we are having at the board? First, to utilize all the installed processing capacity, which is approximately 137 plus metric tons per annum. Also to increase working capital up to 150 billion TZS, and also to expand the market share in the food industry to a more than 5%.
And that is the end of business news. Sports news is next. Welcome back, and in sports news. The national professional boxing team has been handed the national flag to represent the country in Senegal to compete in qualifying fights for the 2024 Olympics that will take place in Paris, France.
Na mambo machache ya kuwasihi na kuwatakia heri huko mnako kwenda. Serikali kama serikali na mambo mengi sana ya kufanya. na ina vitu vingi sana vya kufanya, lakini naomba mtambue na nyinyi kuonekana ni miongoni mwa wale wanaonufaika na hivyo vitu au hizo huduma zinazotolewa na serikali. Huko nyuma Tanzania imekuwa nyuma sana kwenye michezo, mpaka ilifikia sehemu kukaitwa Tanzania ni kama kichwa cha nani cha mwenda wazimu.
The Football Championship League has signed a 5-year sponsorship agreement with NBC Bank, with the league now being called the NBC Championship. Tanzania Football Federation has said that it will make sure contract brings impact in football development in the country.
Uwekezaji huo tumeshuhudia mafanikio makubwa kwetu kama taasisi, washirika wetu, lakini pamoja na wadau na taifa zima kwa ujumla. Sehemu ya mafanikio ya udhamini wetu ni pamoja na kuongezeko la ajira zaidi ya 7,000 zinazopatikana kupitia soka, kuongeza thamani katika mnyororo wa uchumi.
Hiyo ushindani umekuwa mkubwa, kwa hiyo na sisi kama wenye ligi au wenye brandi pamoja na waendeshaji kwa maana ya bodi ya ligi kuu Tanzania tuliona ushindani ambao tumeushuhudia misimu mitatu iliyopita. Tuna wajibu wa kuhakikisha kwamba hizi timu tunaziwezesha kwa resources, na resources tunazozungumzia hapa maana yake ni fedha. Kwa hiyo ndio maana unaona kwamba tumefanikiwa kustrike deal.
The Tanzania Women's Golf Open Golf Tournament will take off on 14th to 17th of September, with professional and amateur players expected to participate in the event in Arusha. That marks the end of our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. Thank you for watching and good night.
Tangazo, taarifa kwa umma, nafasi za kujiunga